What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, September 13th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Well, it's Friday the 13th. It's Friday. Hope everybody had a great week. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for a lot of the super thanks that have been coming in. So grateful. Um, so feeling some gratitude for all of you and this channel. So again, thank you for being here. Well, I hope it's not too spooky of a Friday the 13th. Um, you know what I mean? I hope it's not too spooky. There's definitely some good things going on. One, Mercury is out of post-retrograde shadow. So especially here, home in Virgo, there can be some really good clarity. Now, clarity is like truth, right? And it's like light. And sometimes the truth isn't necessarily what we want to see, or certain things of that nature too. And sometimes the light can be really bright and it's like, ooh, don't want to look at that. But we really do want to pay attention right now and like not be so self-critical that we're hurting ourselves mentally or negative self-talking in any way, but definitely constructive criticism can go a long way. So definitely finding a lot of things out and seeing what we can do better and improve on. So very good to see that. Also, the moon in Capricorn will make a trine to the sun in Virgo today. So good stuff there too. So definitely like some good feelings, I think, when we're taking accountability, being responsible. The big like thorn in our heel at the moment, now that the sun's broken off the square to Jupiter, yes, that's still present with the separation and tight orb, but definitely like loosening up and starting to see sort of the bounty and the luck and the things that we can really expand on and grow towards and, constructively do with different truths and information right now. But it's Mars, really tight in this square to the nodes. And it's not, going to be over today. This is 2 more days of like really intense Mars square the nodes, and Mars is the dispositor of the North Node in Aries, and Mars is in fall position in Cancer. So there's such a deep importance right now on being able to feel safe and comfortable within our action, within our authority, especially with the moon in Capricorn and trining the sun. Like, it's very important to just like feel good about what path you want to take and to feel confident right now in your own decision making process and the identification of what's going on and what's happening and what's going on with relationships and people in our life and different reflections. And if there is a big desire for balance and harmony and beauty, that you have to identify those things and that you have to put in the effort and the work and you have to purify and you have to clean out closets in life. And that's just like a big healthy reminder right now as we're kind of going through a collective skip step. It's almost like we think that balance and harmony and, really good relationships just show up. But they don't. They're all a product of ourself and how important it is to take care of ourselves and to nurture ourselves and to take action for ourselves and to put ourselves number one so that we can better ourselves, so that we can better our relationships and that we can have healthy relationships and balanced relationships. So definitely seeing where there can be a lot of tension with other people, especially with Venus and Eros, conjunct at 18 degrees of Libra, and the moon starting off the day with a square to Venus and Eros. So the scary part of this Friday the 13th, if there is one, because it's an auspicious day and they made movies about it and stuff, is that the reflection we're seeing from others is not helping us better ourselves, and that we're putting the blame on certain things or putting so much weight and value on what others think or our, some perceived reputation of ourselves because of ideals that maybe other people set on us. And this is where we got to have like really strong discipline and ideals for ourselves and be willing to work and go through the step-by-step nature to accomplish things. So it's definitely a Friday of like looking at things for exactly what they are. The reflection you get from people has a lot of truth about you in it. It doesn't mean you have to take it as their projection is everything, but it's good for reflection. And instead of getting upset or something, like, we have to look ourselves in the mirror about certain things so that we can make some sense of different steps and different things that we can do. This is such an empowering and a time to be getting better in our lives and moving forward. And that doesn't mean either that we want to take, crap from other people by any means. Like, again, like, that's a reflection of where we need to take more authority in our life and we need to forge our own path. But there's also, the people that do show you unconditional love. When they show up in life and they have something constructive for you that maybe you're not seeing, well, that's important too. So there is weighing out going on here, because every reflection we get is going to be a situationary thing with the people we're relating to. Are they supportive? Are they unconditional? Do they believe in you? Do they believe that, you deserve better things in life, that you deserve the growth and the expansion that life can offer you? And are they giving you constructive criticism for that? That's great. And are you giving other people constructive criticism about how they can be better, but with love, with love in our hearts and from a place of nurturing and support? And it's really hard to nurture and support people when we can't nurture and support ourselves. So that's where we find balance, and that's where it's not scary. And that's where it's like, okay, yeah, there's stuff in my personal life going on that is definitely showing where I need to make choices and I need to take accountability. And I think that that's the most positive thing about today, as the moon finishes the day, finishing up in Capricorn and conjuncting with Pluto, which I think is like the second to last time we're going to see that in our lives. The moon conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Maybe 3 more. I haven't looked far enough ahead, but it's getting close to never seeing that one again. So I think it's 2. 60 days. Close. Might be 3. Very close. I'll double check that and get back to you guys. But we got to find a lot of intense, drive right now. And I think it's more of a dig deep and get embedded in the things that we want, and to be really emotionally strong and have a good emotional desires right now for things that are healthy and things that are rejuvenating and bringing more life into our life. But also having that emotional clarity to be responsible for the things that are deteriorating our life and that are, bringing it down and lowering a vibration of self and lowering a sense of self-confidence and lowering our egos in some ways, so that we can really pump ourselves back up here. So we got to look at all things, and we got to be honest with ourselves without being so hard on ourselves that we're just casting negative spells on ourselves. But really, like, it's about the alchemization and the willingness to see things and to fix things and to clean up our acts and to clean up our environments and to clean up our relationships. And some things, when we're cleaning up, I'm sure you all know, as we clean house or clean our car, some things do have to go in the trash. And we got to be okay with throwing things away too. It's hard to be a hoarder right now, especially with Uranus and Taurus. It just makes it harder to be a hoarder. And even with the moon trining Uranus, it's more liberating to let things go. It's more liberating to look at everything as like a glass half full scenario, to realize that it's a beautiful thing when it's half full, because it has so much more room for more things. And we don't want to be walking around with just an overflowing cup, because we're already losing things, but we're not really conscious of it. And then we're also not making room for some really positive things to come into. So I think we want to be just on our game, as we have had to be a little bit for this Virgo season, to make sure that we're letting in more of the good things that we can use to create with, to create abundance, to create better routines, better schedules, better health habits, a better day-to-day life that is more fundamental for improvement, that is more of a bedrock that can be really strong to build upon. So the structure that we want right now can come, but it has to come from a very strong base of identifying our wants, our needs, our desires, and making sure that they're healthy for us, and then definitely putting in effort and work so that we can have better things without just thinking better things need to magically poof into our life without us doing anything, because it is a time to be proactive. So let's use this Friday to be proactive, to do things that are healthy for ourselves, that are good, to know that it's okay to let things leave. It's okay to throw things out when we're cleaning house, and to not hoard certain things because of even almost a tradition. You know, we want to be careful not to like fall into some tradition we've set up for ourselves that is not, you know, proactive for the cleaning that we have to do to be better and to be more fulfilled in many ways. So it's a big day of identification, big day of, I think, finding and being secure with letting things go and feeling strong in our emotion, just our emotional sense of self, to act on what we know and what we feel is right for ourselves, and to stick to that, and to not people please or do something because it's expected, but to do it because you would expect that of yourself. It's one thing if we, show up for others because we chose to and we're taking accountability for that and we're doing it. But it's one thing to just completely forfeit your sense of what you want and what you want to do in life for something that is not you, a not self version of you. So we're really trying to get into a really true version of ourselves, and I think we're having to like double down on making good decisions for that today. And I think when we do, it'll feel pure, it'll feel like we made the right decisions, and it'll feel like we put ourselves first, and that's a good thing, because again, we can't show up for others when we can't show up for ourselves. And that reminds me of like when I took a break from this channel earlier this year and late last year. I was having a hard time showing up for myself, and it was really hard for me to show up here and do horoscopes. And I had to get right with myself before I could come back and do it. And now I'm back, and it's great. But this astrology reminds me of that time in my life, because I wasn't able to give myself enough of the things I needed to feel good and secure and strong in myself to be even helpful or motivating or supportive for others. And it was hard. So definitely get back to making sure you're seeing what's up in life, and that you're putting yourself in a position where you can act and feel secure in your action without needing to be pushed by another. And I know that's one thing to watch this channel, and I'm not trying to push you into anything, but I'm telling you how I feel and what I'm, channeling from what I see in the astrology, and what you do with it is yours. We'll just leave it at that. The card for today what's it going to be? Any guesses? Do want to give a big thanks to Puma Power for so many kind donations to the channel. Almost daily. It blows my mind. And it never goes unnoticed, and it's always appreciated. And I thank you. And for everybody else that has sent those super thanks, it's, when I get that notification on my phone throughout the day, sometimes it's just a really good feeling, and I appreciate you. And if I was doing a live and there was a super chat, I would, of course, be so courteous and thankful and shout it out. But yeah, I haven't, shouted that out much when I record and pre-record these for you. But I wanted to give that. All right. Oh, the Three of Swords in reverse. Well, I do like the Three of Swords in reverse a lot because I think it's definitely the get out of heartbreak. Stop. And the heartbreak's mental, right? It's swords. It's the heartbreak card, but it's swords. And it's this weird mental thing we do to ourselves where we get all anxious, where we get all worried, where we get scared. And we start to, it starts to affect our heart, starts to affect our drive, starts to affect us, and where we're putting our energy because we're mentally tied up. So today's more about like really seeing things for what they are, understanding different truths and doing something proactive about it. Instead of just sitting and wallowing, it's definitely a more responsible reaction today is key and important in our lives, because there's no need to be heartbroken or stagnant or stuck or feeling in lack. If we are lacking, it's because we have to do more. And today's a good reminder of that, to see things, to understand, to analyze situations, and to do more if you need to. Or to just be grateful for what you see, and to be grateful and thankful that you're not feeling heartbroken and sorrow and, all these things that we can do because of a worry or a doubt or a fear. I'm going to pull one more because I want to. Well, 5 of coins. That's a scary card. No, I'm just kidding. It's not scary, but it is definitely that feeling of feeling out in the cold, beat up, broken. Life's hard right now. Reality is not easy, and it's easy to feel like we're all facing such an uphill battle. Maybe not for everybody, but I think, there's definitely a line in the sand for the social classes of like who's feeling it more than others. And, it does feel like it's hard to get out of ruts. And, I think that we just have to realize too that there are a lot of people that do want to support and help make our lives better. And those are the relationships that are just angels in our life, saints and angels and, really beautiful things. And sometimes we do have to go get, an embrace from people. And I don't think we need to, by any means just shut people out in our life, because there's people that are meant to be there and people that really are a gift from God. So it's interesting. It's like it's an interesting thing I feel from the cards, from the two of them, is like, one, knowing how to make changes to get out of a povertish feeling in our day-to-day life. But there's also the embrace of another, and then there's also the ability to let others go, which we talked about in the astrology, and to not feel a sense of guilt or remorse because you're growing and life is changing, and to be grateful for the changes and grateful for the growth, and nothing has to be so personal. A lot of the times it's bigger than us, right? Right. I love you all. I hope you have a great Friday. I'll see you all for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.